Buongiorno, everyone. Welcome back to the Magpie Channel podcast here at Anarchy Brewery. The war be almost a free okay because we've got none on display.
Yeah, I said last week that we thought it was going to go out on Friday. Did it? I think
It did.
I think I missed the memo. I think my dad was asking us on Saturday. He was like, "Oh, when's that getting released?" I was like, I think yesterday,
Friday.
but there wasn't
Just
no
gone.
confirmation. But yeah, all gone. Not even a can in sight.
In sight.
There's some labels to be printed, so there must be some more on the way. I can see that in the doorway over there, but yeah, none on the cans as of yet. So
it's actually getting brewed right behind us there now, to be fair.
There.
So I would love to just dive clean in. First in there, head first into the war beer. But we set it on our social medias, put it out there. It's available in different stores and stuff as well. So you may be able to grab a can or two, and they'll be back in stock soon to order online in the link in description. Shout out everyone who's in the chat already. Ian there, nice and early. Adam, Aaron, Donny, see you all.
Evening, everyone.
John, Brent, who's a member, lovely stuff. And if you do want to guarantee your comment being read out, hit a super chat in the comments. Well, he is, little donation out the channel. Super chat, we'll have a good bit of crack with you. If not, we'll come back at the end of the show and see if there's any top comments to get through near the time. Not gonna rewind. Yeah, we're not gonna screw up. But if there is, we'll find them towards the end. Transfer is the focus, of course, in this podcast, as it will be throughout the summer. Even though I can hear you,
guess it'll be a short one then.
Wherever you're watching, that the frustration is still there because we're in July now, and we're still yet to see any movement, concrete movement. Anyway, loads of talks and explorations going on.
God, I'm sick of the talk.
More exploring than bloody Jurassic World. Going on in Newcastle, more haggling than the Turkish market. And still no signings. But I keep saying that. I think like every week I'm saying, just be patient. When does the patience run out, Kate?
Yeah, we knew that probably nothing or not much was going to happen before the PSR deadline, which was on Monday. So everyone's like, be patient, man. Just wait, it'll come.
Relax.
Just wait till July. And now we're on the 2nd of July, and where is everyone?
2nd of July. 6 o'clock, here in Nout.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't expect it to happen like imminently.
Yeah.
But kind of also did at the same time. Like, I still hoped and prayed that something would happen at least around about now. Like you say, it's currently 6 o'clock on the 2nd of July. You would have thought that someone might be on the way for a medical or a deal had been agreed or terms or whatever. Like, we've heard that terms have been agreed from James Trafford's camp, but the fee between Newcastle and Burnley is yet to be agreed, so still probably quite a lot of work to be done on that front.
Brilliant.
So when's that going to be done, Renty?
Well, I was hoping this week. I was thinking this week for sure. People were sending me pictures of him in the airport last week. He was at Newcastle Airport last week. I got that picture.
Oh, really?
He was on the same flight coming back from Ibiza with one of our followers on Instagram.
Was that coincidental? Or?
Why was he flying back to Newcastle? Was it to meet anyone, or was it just because that was the cheapest flight?
You have to fly from Newcastle to get to Spain when you live in Burnley, like.
Just like the Mackhams. I don't know why very humble of him to be flying with Ryanair. 30 quid flights when he's on probably 30 grand a week. It's a bit mad, but it was him. But
saving his pennies now for when the big money comes.
Exactly, yeah.
Saving for the big bucks.
Yeah, big bucks, waiting for that extension, waiting for that upgrade, waiting to double, triple his wages. You say personal terms aren't a problem. That's going to be done and dusted by the clubs, but the fee is still some way apart. Some reports saying it could be just a few million. Some reports saying that it's done, and some saying there's still some way off. So anyone really
who knows?
Really, do they?
Just guesswork. Yeah, no one knows what's going on at this club ever.
But Trafford, I'm confident. I still think that will be our first signing.
Yeah, same.
I wouldn't be surprised if it popped up tomorrow that it was done, or it happens.
Yeah, by the end of the week, maybe. It's only Wednesday.
Weekend or next week. Sure, these things have got to get moving because the lads are back next week, 7th of July.
That's Monday.
Pre-season begins.
Yeah, so it would be nice to have at least one new face through the door by Monday, but yeah, you never know. You never know.
But we're going to focus this week's episode on centre-backs. Last week we did right wingers. There's a bit of an update on that one, actually, Kate, to be fair, because one of the targets we discussed last week was Semenyo of Bournemouth. And he's signed an extension at Bournemouth to a lot of people's surprises.
I missed that one.
To his cake surprise.
Surprise. Yeah. Breaking news.
You missed that one. Breaking news. It was breaking news yesterday. But there's breaking news for you, Kate. Semenyo signed a new deal at Bournemouth, which did literally shock everyone like you right then, because he was in talks.
I've been looking at updates for the past 48 hours, waiting for some sort of Newcastle breaking news. So I don't know how I missed that one, but no, man, interesting.
There you go. So even though he was in talks with Spurs a couple of weeks ago, now it looks like Tottenham are focused on Mohamed Kudus, who again, another one identified
one that we looked at,
by Sky Sports that Newcastle are interested in. So Semenyo saying new deal. That one was a surprising one, really, because he was linked with a whole host of clubs.
Top clubs.
Maybe they've obviously just said to him, give us another year. He has a nice pay increase, and maybe he's settled down there.
Yeah. I mean, you never know what goes on in people's personal lives. Like, and it's not just all about the football. Some people are just happy where they are. Like, money may not be an objective in some people's heads. Like,
might have a ban on the way.
Yeah, as long as he's happy, settled, might have a missus, a ban. Like, you don't know what he's going through. He might be happy in the area that he lives in.
Loves the beach.
Loves Bournemouth Beach. I am a little bit surprised because we were linked with him, as were Spurs, Arsenal, Man United, like all the top clubs. He could have ditched Bournemouth and upgraded, and many teams, even abroad, probably. He probably had loads of interest from abroad.
All right.
So, surprised to see that. But, fair play. If he's happy at Bournemouth, and crack on, kid. Happy for you.
And that's meant, as I mentioned, that Tottenham have moved on to Kudus, one that was linked to Newcastle, but that's going to be crazy money, isn't it?
Yeah.
I said that last week. I can't see Newcastle paying
that's
70,
because
80
they
million
were
they want.
supposedly interested in Eze. And Eze is going to the rivals up in North London there. So.
What a signing for Arsenal that is, by the way.
That
Eze.
would be tremendous. I don't know what the fee is, though.
60 release clause, isn't it? 60 release clause, I think.
Why has no one triggered that? Chelsea did last year, didn't they?
Yeah.
But then they realised that they had about 9 million players on the team, so they probably thought, probably can't really do that anymore.
And then they just go and spend 60 on Pedro instead, and Jamie Gittins and every other player ever. So, there's that one. We're focusing on Newcastle. Like I said, we will discuss centre-backs as it came out last night that Newcastle are moving on from Mark Gahey, and they are going to focus on the European market instead, which will please a lot of people, because I've seen the comments, all yous screaming out saying, sack this Premier League tax off, get rid of looking in this country, we're getting robbed, everyone's ridiculously overpriced. Let's look abroad, like we did for the likes of Botman, Tonali, everyone else.
Bruno.
But we'll talk about that in a minute, Keg. We'll get into the transfer stuff, so let us know your thoughts in the comments. But just firstly, the third kit came out yesterday. I was there, went to the launch, didn't buy it. Went to the launch, didn't buy it. Probably going to get it on the weekend.
No, I was going to say, that's why I said yes.
Yes.
It's been 24 hours. Be second thought that.
I've been thinking about it. I was up all night, cold sweats. Thinking, craving, I need it. Want to wear it. But nah, yesterday I went, I said in the video, like, I like it, but I don't love it. But I'm still going to get it because I do want to wear it in videos. I do want to wear it. Champions League away days.
Yeah.
I do still like it. I think it is decent, but I wasn't like blown away by it where I was desperate to go hand over 100 quid for it, basically.
It's a lot of money.
And I'm wearing this today because this was obviously the originals range from last year. They've also sort of leaked a bit of that in the announcement video of the third kit with Sam Fender, Aspria, and all the rest of them, where they showed the kind of minimalistic. I don't know if you've seen it, the black and white jacket, the black shirt, the one Asula was wearing was nice, like a white black
with a pinstripe. I'm a big fan of that one.
I like that one. Honestly,
really
I'd
nice.
rather probably have that than third kit.
If that was Warren away shirt,
that should be the third kit.
The goalkeeper shirt.
Aye.
Goalkeeper shirt's sexy.
You like the yellow one?
Oh,
I like it as well.
Very nice.
Is it giving you the Borussia Dortmund vibes?
It gives kind of like 80s like retro vibes. Obviously, it's got like the Pretty Fire logo, so it gives you that kind of like retro feel anyway. Like it's the old Adidas logo from like 80s, 90s. But yeah, like just like it's quite like it looks like quite like slim fit as well. So it does like give you like maybe even like maybe it's like kind of like a 70s Brazil vibe, like something like that, or like 80s Germany or something like that. Like I just probably give you that like kind of retro feel, like slim fit, old Adidas logo, quite simple, just yellow and black. Can't get wrong with a bit of yellow and black.
I think it goes really well. I do like them colour matches.
Good combo in it. Yeah, it's nice. It's, like I said, simple, plain, but very effective, very sexy.
The keeper tops are probably better than the Prata tops because I love the blue one. I've got the blue one from the home edition. So I like it. I like this shirt. Is it grown on you at all since? Because obviously last week we hadn't even seen the leaks of the Adidas model and Bruno on that yet. But are you going to look at getting it, or have you went and seen it in the flesh?
It'll be on me Christmas list.
Oh, Christmas list for Keg Santa, please.
Thank you, Santa. Yeah, I think last week or whenever we were last speaking about it, like before it actually came out, I was on the fence. I was saying like I was underwhelmed by the leaks. I really didn't like the look of the leaks. But yeah, now I've seen it. I'm actually a very big fan of it. I haven't seen it in the flesh. I haven't seen anyone wearing it yet. I haven't had a chance to get a club shop yet to have a little browse. But yeah, from like the official images, I think it's really classy. I am a very big fan of a long sleeve as well that we haven't had in years. So yeah, looking at the long sleeve version, I might treat myself before Christmas. Who knows? We don't know, but yeah, I do like it. I am a very big fan of it. If Santa dropped that off for me out of his sack on Christmas morning, I would be very, very pleased.
There we go. Keg's looking forward to Santa's sack, giving him a nice third shirt. Long sleeve only though, Santa, please.
Oh yeah, long
Champions
sleeve
League badge as well.
Oh
That'll be done.
I
do like it. Yeah, I will end up getting it. In the originals range, I was disappointed that wasn't actually in stock. That's what I wanted to see as well, and obviously show the viewers the originals range. But obviously, we're going to do a separate release day for that. Maybe even other bits that we haven't seen, because obviously this came out at a later date last year.
All season long we'll have new stuff. Like last year, there was about 9 million drops. Like new release, everyone kicking off, going, I can't afford it. But anyone's forcing me to buy it. But that's just what it is. Like they'll have loads of new stuff out across the year. So don't go spunking all your money on this summer. If you're feeling the pinch, just wait, because there'll be loads of sexy new stuff across the year, and then the earlier stuff will end up getting discounted towards the back end of the year. So take your time, take your pick whenever it comes out.
I was going to say there, if you're feeling the pinch, then just feel the weight, because at the end of the season, it's like 70% off.
Barge on.
So if you're not in a rush to get it and wear it quickly, or wear it at the matches this season, or whatever you want to do, then you can just wait.
Yeah, of course,
wait it out. Even after New Year, it gets released a little bit of a discount, and then towards the end of the season, like I said, it's like 70, 80% off. You know, you're not selling this season shirts for about 20 quid or something, 25 quid. So mad discount there. And you're right, Adidas will bring out a whole host of ranges, because they might even remake another kit. Who knows? Remember, they re-released the 95, 97 shit. They did that again, did an event for that and all that. So that might come out, a new version of that might come out, another kit might be re-released. Like I said, are they going to make another shirt like this? I'm not sure if they will, to be honest. I mean, they may as well. They need to get the stock right this time, because the stock levels were way lower. They underestimated how popular those were going to be. I think the hoodies, the shell suit, tracksuits just flew out.
That blackout range was sexy. Like that
blackout range.
That was really nice.
Yeah, the whiteout range as well. The white version of that. There was loads, and we haven't even seen the training wear yet.
No,
we'll see that next week on the 7th.
Come out,
when you see the pictures of the lads return to training and Eddie Howe and stuff. Because I got one of the coaches jackets. You got it as well. I think you got one of the coaches jackets from last year. So my days of it is nice. Then it is an expense, big expense. A lot of people are saying though, sign some players, and then I'll buy some shirts. Yeah, and I think that was why the kit launch was dead yesterday. You know,
maybe. I'll tell you what, I'll buy the long sleeve shirt when we're saying Trafford. How about
that? You buy the keeper shirt, yellow shirt with Trafford on the back.
I will do. However, get some money made, man. Really?
Not waiting with Santa, waiting with Trafford. But with the kit launch, they messed it up a little bit. Obviously, the marketing was very good to an extent with that promo video. We'll touch on that in a minute, which got taken down. That was good, but it was just the wrong timing. I think releasing it now, while you can sense the kind of frustration amongst the fan base on social media and stuff, without any signings yet. It's all getting a bit doom and gloom once again. So they had to just release that green away rumored shirt first, as you'd expect. Release a first shirt, second shirt, and third shirt. If they had to release the away shirt this week, which isn't very nice, many people aren't going to buy it. You know what I mean? The Champions League prices have been coming out of people's season tickets, the direct debits. Obviously, the home shirt only came out a few weeks ago. So just release the unattractive away design. People might think, I'll skip that and I'll wait for the third one. Then build the hype and build the anticipation towards that third one. And then you just drop the video after Adidas have already cocked up and released it on their website. That's kind of killed that a little bit. But then the Fender video was brilliant. Obviously, how's the bacon? Did you see all of that? But then they had a nightmare with that as well, because it got taken down yesterday because of that flag that was in it from the Japanese fan that flew over, who follows Newcastle because of Alan Pardew's headbutt. He flew over for the promo shoot. He was in the Irish Centre. He had that flag that the Koreans have something against because of the regime and the war that was going on years ago.
Imperial flag or something like that.
Yeah, some madness like that. So obviously they've had a mess up there where, let's face it, the people behind the scenes, the producers and stuff, probably should have knew about that. I mean, I didn't have a clue about it. When you've seen the video and it's a black and white flag and it's got the Newcastle badge in a minute and the Japanese lads holding it up. But someone there for the money they get and the pay that they're on for these sort of deals, the brands and the production levels, someone probably should have said, maybe should we have a look at that? What does that mean? I don't know. They cocked up massively. It then got taken down and then re-released a couple hours later without that involved. So not the best from Adidas or the club there, whoever it was.
Yeah, I mean, without like going like too far into it, because obviously there was reasons for taking it down, but I think they were maybe just being a bit cautious. I don't think there was any intent behind it. I don't think it was what some people might have thought that it was. So yeah, I think they were just being a bit too cautious there. I don't think it was anyone's mistake. I don't think anyone should be made to feel responsible for it. Like not Newcastle, not Adidas, or whoever it is. I do genuinely think it was a mistake that has some sort of likeness to the Japanese imperial flag, but I don't think that's what the intention was.
No.
So I just think it was a genuine accident. They've seen it now. Someone probably pointed it out, and then they've kind of dropped the ball and thought, shit, maybe it is a little bit too similar. And obviously we're going to South Korea for our preseason.
Not good timing, that, is it?
Terrible timing. So yeah, I think they're just being a bit cautious. Thought, right, we'll do the right thing, and we'll just trim that out just in case the Koreans do kind of see a resemblance and maybe like see some sort of target or offense or something. So yeah, it's the right thing to do, but I do just think it was a genuine mistake and an accident. Like no one should really be made to feel bad about it.
I mean, the mad thing is that obviously there was a Newcastle United logo in the middle of it. But it's just the timing is out of all the places you could be going for pre-season, you then go into the country that you've just offended me, or obviously whoever it is that complained. But I tell you what, I'm not getting into politics now. On this show.
A bit too deep in it,
I thought it was funny how loads of people online actually thought it was because Steve Bruce's lawyers were on the phone again.
Oh yeah,
Bruce must have complained about how it was the bacon. Oh my goodness, man. I think that touch at the end. It was a good touch, that one.
It was funny. Was there not like an element of where you thought like just leave it in the past? Does it feel like a bit of an unnecessary dig at Bruce? Like I know
I'm all for it,
but I know it's funny. It's kind of like become like part of Newcastle culture, and like Brucey should kind of feel like honoured that was still like remember. Like it's not to take the piss out of him. It was just a funny moment. Like it wasn't like of all the things we could take the piss out of Brucey for, that's not one of them. It was a kind of genuinely funny moment. Like, so
I think he would would he?
I don't know if he would though. That's the thing.
Just laugh that off, like, because it's not. It isn't an insult, is it? It was just
it has just become a kind of like a cultural thing of this fan base now. Like, it's just like a saying because it was just a funny off the cuff moment, honestly. Like, but yeah, I feel like I don't know. Just leave Brucey in the past. Like we're in a new era now. Like, just stop trying to dig out him and Mike Ashley and just fuck them off. And just...
Well, I'm glad he is part of the past. Put it that way. Very glad he's part of the past. We'll keep him that way. But it was a good little line.
It was funny.
And it was a very good promotional video. But with the kit, I just think the idea was there. It is good, but it's not great. It could have been better, but I do still like it. No doubt I'll be wearing it probably on next week's show. There we go.
More than likely.
Joe Linton with a super chat there. Thanks for that one, mate. Asking you get the AC sorted. Well, I looked into it. I had loads of replies about getting air conditioning on the Instagram, but it is a pricey one. It is good. It is a couple of thousand at least. So I did some digging and some research last night on the best fans on the market, to be honest. So I ended up getting one of them, and I'm going to collect that tomorrow. So hopefully that does the job. All the reviews and that were saying it was a good fan, because I don't know about UK, but I was struggling like mad the other day. My house.
You've got a new little fan system thing, little AC little system.
You have?
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. So you're at the game. What one did you get? Is it one of them ones you just took out the window?
Not just a stand-up fan.
Oh, right.
Yeah. Don't need to spend $2,000 on air conditioning. Just need a good.
You haven't got air conditioning. It's just a fan.
Well, yeah.
Oh, right. And that works for you?
Because you get 4 nice days in this country a year, so it's a bit...
We've had loads of hot days this year,
It's been alright, but yeah, just
I've been sweating since I moved in.
Spend some decent money on a good fan. That's what you put them at the bottom of the bed. That's what you're ready.
Well, I see. I did have a decent fan, but it didn't work. And then I went for the next level fan now. So this one should hopefully do the job. If not, then I will try and get on the aircon maybe. But cheers to the recommendation, Jordan. Appreciate it. Right then.
Come on then.
Let's move on to transfers. Let's start with this one because I did a video on it the other night. And it was the news that Joao Pedro chose Chelsea. We don't need to spend too much time on it because it's a bit like Bruce Seats in the past. Move on.
It is.
I just want to get your thoughts on it, Kate, because for me, it wasn't really the point of missing out on Pedro. I don't care. I wasn't like obsessed with signing Pedro. He wasn't going to be a big needle mover. He wasn't going to be an outstanding bit of business. He was pricey, to say the least. And it wasn't exactly a priority either. But he is a good player. I did want him. And then obviously Chelsea coming in and swooshing him and getting him was frustrating, but my point was more on PSO, which we'll talk about in a minute.
Mm.
But it was in Sky Sports before. Pedro's going to join up with the Chelsea team now in the Club World Cup. But just on missing out on Joao Pedro, thoughts and feelings on that one?
For me, it's not that we missed out on Joao Pedro. I feel like Joao Pedro missed out on us.
I like it. Good angle.
Because whatever we done, like if we offered him stupid wages to entice him, he wanted Chelsea all along.
Yeah.
And we didn't know that from the reports that came out last week. It was like all the ones that we've been linked with, including Alanga and Trafford, want the move. They want to work with Eddie Howe. That was what was being reported. But apparently, Joao Pedro only wanted Chelsea. He wanted the life in London. And if that's how you feel, then fair play. Like Semenyo staying at Bournemouth when he could move anywhere else. Like some people have that ideas of how they want their career to go or where they want to be for their own personal reasons, for their own happiness or whatever. If you're blinded by the lights of London, which I personally don't get myself, but never mind, that's a story for another day. Just a proud northerner. I'd rather be up here. But I think especially from like foreigners, like growing up in like Brazil and stuff, like you see England or even the UK as London.
Yeah.
Like geographically, you probably couldn't even name another city. Maybe Liverpool, maybe Manchester. Yeah, pushing boundaries there. Maybe Dublin or Belfast. That's about it. But London is like Europe to some people. So for a lot of people, that's just how they think. And we've been stung by this in the past. And takeover or no takeover, some people want to play. Some people want to play in London. If you go back to like Gabby Agbonlahor's interview that he gave on Talk Sport a few years ago, he was talking absolute horse shit and put it very, very badly.
Not
but
like him.
I get what he was trying to say, although he sounded like a dick the way that he said it. He said, if you were offered 30 grand to play for Brentford or 40 grand to play for Newcastle, you would pick Brentford. I was going to do it in his horrible little Brummie accent there, but I'm not going to. But I get his point. Like some people prefer London, so we've lost out we've lost players to like Watford and stuff in the past because it's just London. Like Brentford's, West Ham's, obviously Tottenham, Arsenal, Chelsea. Like back in the past, like they were far bigger teams than what we were, so you kind of blame people for that. But like your West Ham's and Watford's, Brentford's, they'll have a bigger pull because it's London. And I think that's just the way that Joao Pedro's seen us. Like he didn't want to come up north. Like we were meant to have a deal agreed for him last year, and he chose. I don't know if it was his choice or not, but I think he might have chose Brighton instead of her. Rather play on the south coast than in the northeast. And if that's the way you want to play,
London.
Yeah, like it's not too far away. So crack on. If that's the way that you feel, if you want to join Chelsea, best of luck to you in the future. But enjoy playing Southern Choice striker.
Well, this is the thing he's had to take into account. And this is the mad thing when players come out and complain about that, but they ultimately go for money because the two strikers have just signed this window, Pedro and Delap. One of them is going to be in a massive huff.
That depth is ridiculous. Like it's too much, and you see like them moving players on all the time. Like who's been linked with a move away?
Loads of them in Kunku, Sancho, Jackson.
Like all these players that have spent huge money on quite recently in the last year or two that just haven't worked out, and they're already shipping them off. Like they've got the centre back that's meant to be going to is it Vieira who's going to Bayern?
Oh, is he?
They just sign anyone and everyone because they can. They've got these mad loopholes where they put them on 7-year contracts and they can just get away with it, but they don't think about the player. And to be honest, why would you want to as a player, unless it's obviously for the money, between the player and the agent? Why is Chelsea an attractive club for you nowadays? Like, if you're going in there to be a starter or even compete for a starting spot, fair enough. But when the depth's that big, and you've seen how many flops that they've had in the past, but they've spent big money on. Let's mention him for the 10th week in a row. Mudryk. There he is. Like, I just don't get it. Like, for me, like growing up, like Barcelona would have been one of the most attractive. If you were like a young footballer, you would think, oh, Barcelona, I'd love to play for Barcelona. For like, even like a Chelsea back in like 2004, 2005 under Mourinho, like one of the best teams in the world, you'd think, oh, if I could play for Chelsea, it'd be absolutely class. But now they're two of the teams where if I was a professional nowadays and my agent goes, oh, one of these two teams want to sign you, I'd be like, fuck off. I'd rather go to Brighton or Bournemouth or Brentford or something like that because these teams just are absolutely in the mud.
Yeah.
Like they just spend stupid money, can't afford players. Like Barcelona have to get rid of players. They've signed players that maybe can't even register.
They're doing it right now again.
I just don't understand how they keep doing it. Like, you just keep putting yourself further in the mud, and Chelsea are the same. Like, they're two teams that, in Man United in that mix as well, they're three teams I would not touch with a barge pole if I was a professional footballer.
No, I mean, with Pedro and, like I said, the lap as well, two players that have just chose to go there, two players that turned down, well, Pedro turned down Newcastle, the lap turned down Newcastle, Man U, a whole host of clubs, to go to Chelsea and to then be a bench warmer, basically.
Yeah.
You're going to get dropped 1 week, you're going to play 10 minutes next week.
Many more players.
All the depth. But they all just go there just to live in Chelsea.
Yeah, that's
because it. Because people in the chat are saying, London's a god-awful place. It is if you're in the wrong areas. But I tell you what, if you're living in Chelsea and you got a Mayfair 5-star restaurants every night, it's probably going to be kind of nice.
Brushing shoulders made in Chelsea and that, getting yourself on TV.
Do you know what I mean? If you're in like the poshest streets in London and you're safe as out and you go into the best restaurants in the world in the fanciest of streets of London, then it's going to be a really nice life, to be fair. You're not going to the underground and bloody West Ham and that. Then it's going to be nice for them. And that's why they're doing it. But they're so short-minded, but it's what you said about, I think, the foreign players as well, like you said. And it'd be like if someone said to us about France or something, you'd just think of Paris.
Pretty much Paris, and that's what it is.
Yeah, you may be able to name Marseille or one or two others, but you're not going to think of many places. But they don't realise, because then you've seen it when Bruno says, it's actually blew our expectations out.
That's the thing. Those that give it a chance fall in love. Like, how many people have we said in the past, like, catch the bug? Those that keep coming back, like Tino Aspreyas, people like that. Like, even if you've only played here for even if you've only played here for like 2-3 years back in the 90s, you've still got that connection. Like, Newcastle is a special place. People fall in love with this place. Like, it's a small city, but it's a brilliant city. It's a one club city where you'll be absolutely adored. Like, St. James's is a great stadium. We're a great team. Like, historically, we've been a bit void of success, and we've been a bit like kind of to and fro and mid-table relegations and all that stuff. But still, like, even like, remember, like Kennedy. Like, Kennedy said, like, he wanted to come back after his loan because he said the exact same things that Bruno did. Like, Kennedy walked so Bruno could run. Like, he was a Brazilian that came over, didn't even know where Newcastle was, but he says, I fucking love it here. Like, I'll come back because it's absolutely mint.
And when they come here, and you see, we may be seeing it because we're proud Northerners, but the coastline, the amount we've got going on up here, the nice little bits of countryside and country parks and the town centre itself, the city, the quayside, it goes on and on. It is an unreal place, but these just don't see it.
No.
And the thing is with these footballers, they barely leave the fucking mansion. And when they do, it is just getting driven to the 5-star restaurants. So in the shops and that. So not Asda or anything. I mean, like the Dior shops and that, they spend 20 grand at a time. It's just to keep the wives happy and that, really, isn't it? Yeah. I mean, they just keep the wives happy, keep them in London, jump on a flight to Europe a bit sooner than it would take from up here and all the rest of it. But yeah, I think you're right. I think Pedro's messed up there, to be fair. And when you look at it and you see a lot of Brighton fans saying, I'm glad he went, he was trouble in the dressing room, seen at the end of the season, the fallout with Van Hecker and the rest of the team and all that. So Newcastle have probably dodged a bullet there, because spending, if it's believed that we're going to spend 120 to 150 million this summer, if you spent 60 million on someone who probably isn't going to start.
We're almost getting priced out, because I'm sure Brighton said at 1.70 million. It's like, absolutely fucking no, we're not paying that shit.
But he's gone to Chelsea in the end, Joao Pedro. You'll probably regret it, but you'll pick up good money for a couple of years. And
best of luck,
all the rest of it. So there we go. But what you mentioned there about Chelsea dishing out 7-year contracts, and the thing is with Newcastle is they have to be so right on signings that they can't afford a mistake. They can't afford an expensive mistake. So if you do spend 70 million, 60 million on a player and it doesn't work out, we are screwed. We are absolutely knackered. Whereas if it's Chelsea, they just seem to do that 5-6 times a year and get on with it. You spend big money on your Mudricks, your Nkunkus, Sancho's, big wages. List goes on, where they then just, 6 months time, the window opens, we'll try again. They'll try again. They'll sell a car park lately, an executive car park themselves, hotels, women's teams, all the rest of it.
From Monopoly, isn't it?
It is. It is Monopoly.
Sell Mayfair.
Yeah. It's right down there in Monopoly land. And the PSL loopholes are continuously exploited by Chelsea, but not Newcastle. And another team that's just done it is Aston Villa. They've copied Chelsea. They've sold their women's team to not have to sell one of their star players. Your Ramsey was linked to Newcastle. He still is. Morgan Rogers was linked to a move. Martinez, the keeper, is linked. Many of their players are apparently for sale, because they had to get rid of them. Otherwise, they'd face points deduction, like Newcastle did this time a year ago, forced to sell Minter, Anderson to avoid that punishment. However, they've exploited a loophole. So, why aren't Newcastle doing that, Cake?
I think it's just kind of getting the balance between what's right and wrong. Like, for me, this is everything that's wrong with football. And the reason why, to be fair, over the past few years, and if it wasn't for this takeover, I'd be kind of so like dejected from football. I was kind of already on my way there, like with how shit we were under like Brucey and Ashley. Like I just had no desire to watch football anymore.
No.
Like the takeover and like the excitement surrounding me club, Newcastle, like got us back interested. But saying shit like this really pisses us off. Like it's just not the game that I fell in love with in the 90s. Like it's just ridiculous. This PSR, FFP, all this shit. It's just absolutely ruining the game. Like, it just absolutely does me head in. So I don't feel like we should do this because this was one of like the big things that was part of like Amanda Staveley's like mission statements when the club first got taken over. Get Newcastle United women's team back under the roof of Newcastle United because they were working independently. They had the name Newcastle United, but they weren't a Newcastle United organisation. They were independent. So Amanda Staveley worked hard to get them back under our umbrella. And we've celebrated them. We've supported them. We've had them at St. James's. We've celebrated their promotions. Like, we've proper, like, put the feelers out to get, like, the women's games, like, popularity on the rise. Like the rest of the country, like, with, like, the Lionesses, like, winning the Euros and stuff. Like, the women's game has been massively on the rise. And especially in this region because we've really shown the women love. So to get them back under our umbrella and then sell them, I just feel like it would just be a massive kick in the teeth. Like, I just feel like it's so immoral. Like, I get it's putting the men's team first, which is the money maker. So I get it. And it's the team that people support more. But I just cannot get behind this. I just feel like it's just so degrading to the women. Like, it's just, nah, I don't like it. Like, if it's going to save work, but we don't need saved. But it's not that deep. Like, we're just on the fucking fringes. Like, we've just had the PSR deadline. We haven't really been in that situation that we were last year. We haven't had to sell anyone. Like, even last year, there was the talks of selling Bruno or Gordon. Instead, we ended up with Minter and Anderson. We don't need to sell anyone. Like, we've got Champions League football. We've won a cup. We've got Adidas. We've got all these new things coming where we should be putting the money up. I don't feel like we need to do this. Like, Villa's been reportedly in the shit. Like, they need to do this to survive. Obviously, Chelsea need to sell their women's team and hotels and all their assets because they're just spending money willy-nilly. We don't. I don't feel like we need to do this. Like, it's just not necessary.
I think we'll have to come back at the end of the window whether we need to do a loophole or not, to be fair. Because if we're going out and spend 150 million, 200 million, get some few players in, don't lose any big stars, and yeah, you probably didn't need to do it. Yeah. But if we're penny pinching and, oh no, Burnley, we can't give you an extra 3 million quid because of PSR, and we can't get Elanga because he wants 200 grand a week and we only offer 120 grand a week, then you ask yourself and be like, well, do a Chelsea.
Yeah.
Because Chelsea just do mad shit to get around loopholes and just sign loads of players every single window and keep doing it. Whereas imagine if we did that, then we may actually be able to compete. Because I tell you what, if we don't sign the 3-4 players that we need this summer, you know, your centre back, your right winger, back up forward, goalkeeper, then we're going to fall so far behind. We've seen what happened in the Champions League a couple of years ago when the squad depth was tested and failed the test.
Yeah.
If we do that again this year, we're in the same boat, that boat's going to sink, and our boat's going to be so far away from everyone else's boat, we can't even see the fucking boat. You know, we've lost sight. We've lost sight. Yeah, the boats are docked, and Liverpool's won the Premier League, and someone else has took our Carabao Cup, and we're Champions League spots gone. So that's what I'm saying, where we cannot afford to not act because we'll end up dropping off, and other teams.
And before long, they'll probably start seeing these loopholes and start cutting them out.
Exactly.
So
take advantage of them now.
So it's like strike now, like while the iron's hot, while everyone else is kind of following suit. Because before long, you'll not be able to do it. But it depends on what other assets. Like I said, I'm not in favor of selling the women's team because we worked so hard to get them back. But I just don't know what other assets that we have. I don't know what we could sell off.
Stack 500 million quid.
Stack. Maybe,
buy the Salman signature, rename it, you know, St. James's Hotel or something. Sell that now. Build something else around there, you know?
Build it and sell it.
Build it and sell it.
Sell Greg's. Sell Out and Deck. Sell Carol Cool.
Chelsea, selling executive car parks for like hundreds of millions, and then that means they can sign 3 players this window.
It's insane.
Do you know what the hell? We need it.
Todd Bowley's an idiot, but he's not daft. Like,
He's a rich idiot.
He's an absolute moron when it comes to football terms, but the bloke can navigate some businesses and exploit some loopholes. He knows what he's doing. He's not that daft.
You know, there's a lot of people were angry again on Monday. I seen it about Villa doing it, and I tweeted out. I said it's time to not get annoyed at this anymore and just accept it. And if you can't beat him, join him. For me, like you can't keep getting annoyed at the system and then not do anything about it, though. So remember, there was a couple of weeks ago where teams had a vote in the Premier League whether or not to change these PSR rules, to change these FFP rules, and they voted against it. The majority of Premier League clubs voted against it, probably because they know that they're going to get in a situation one day where they need to sell something to make sure they stay afloat and they don't, go adrift and force to sell the best player or being able to invest in the new signing. So it's mad. It's really mad. The loopholes, the PSR stuff. Do you think, Keg, that we miss Amanda Staveley? You mentioned her impact on the women's team. I've seen people in the comments there and on social media the last few days saying nout's happened since Staveley and Gadusi left, which is right in terms of incomings. Yeah. Mitchell, this grade A, top TV, sporting director comes in, does nout. People have come and gone. Nout's really improved behind the scenes, off the pitch, bringing in players since they left. So do we miss her? But on the flip side of that, yes, brilliant in terms of what you did for the women's team, brilliant in terms of, signing Anthony Gordon and the rest of them. But it was also their kind of dealings that got us in that PSR situation last year where we had to sell because we weren't really boxing clever with it. You know what I mean?
I suppose.
But then we didn't really have a choice because the perilous position we were in 19th, we had to spend to stay up. And then we got ourselves in a position probably too soon, Champions League, where we then thought, we need Saint Tonali and Tino and build and everything. So I don't know, but I think both sides of the coin are right, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I definitely. I think we do miss her. Like, yeah, she did work wonders for her. Like, initially, like, obviously, we all fell in love with her from day one, even years beforehand, because she was trying to power takeovers for years. Like, she had some failed bids with some people like Peter Kenyon. Like, she wanted to get in and among Newcastle because she knew the potential, and she got in here quick. Obviously, got the Saudis in, which we can always be thankful for her for.
Oh, absolutely.
And yeah, the job that she'd done, like helping out, like we're seeing like on the documentary, like being wherever she was. She might have been in Saudi or Dubai or somewhere where she was on the phone in the taxi trying to get like the Anthony Gordon deal done. Like, she grafted her titties off to make sure that we got everything that we as a fan base wanted. And like everything that she's done for the women's team, like she was amazing. So losing her was a bit of a kick in the teeth, but it's like, right, well, we can move on. Like, we're getting like Mitchell in and all these other people, but yeah, just everything since, like, I think she was the first piece of the puzzle to go, and it's like Jenga. Like, the block started kind of falling down once her block got taken away. Hers and Gadusi's block was massive, and we lost Mitchell, and we lost Ashworth. Then we lost Mitchell, and then obviously I've kind of helped, but Darren Neal's got injured, and he's going to be on his way out soon. And just things just kind of started crumbling around a little bit when I think she like removed herself from the equation. So
I agree.
Yeah, she is a big miss, and I think if we were to sell the women's team, I reckon she'd be fucking raging.
Yeah,
I think she'd be absolutely flipping because of the work she put in.
Yeah, she did. I don't know. Like, I think it's one of them ones where I agree with both sides. Like I say, I think there is truth in that since she left. Obviously, things haven't went well, but then her leaving in the first place was kind of down to that, the finances. So, I mean, I see what people are saying because it's easy to point out and go, like, when was the last time we were saying something decent years ago? A man, I brought them in. Yeah. So, it's tough, and it hasn't helped that since then everything's went wrong, to be fair. The sporting directors haven't worked. Ashworth took off, then got sacked from Man U. Mitchell's came in, hasn't seen an eye-to-eye with Eddie Howe and everything. He's gone. And yeah, it's a bit all in the air. It'd be nice to have a summer window, a transfer window where things are in place and things happen.
Yeah, it would be really nice. Great. Can't remember what it's like.
One of the things that could be happening this summer is a new centre-back. Didn't happen last summer. Mark Gahey. Remember that saga? When Newcastle United have learned their lesson, apparently, and are not willing to do any transfer sagas this summer. Funny that report came out off the back of the Joao Pedro deal where apparently we're trying to get him for a month, even though according to Athletic, he never wanted to come in the first place. What a waste of time that was.
Yeah.
But at least it didn't drag on for months, and Newcastle don't want transfer sagas this summer, so they have moved on from Mark Gahey. They have cooled their interest in the Crystal Palace centre-back, I think that's going to have a lot to do with Liverpool apparently being close to signing their mind.
Mm.
But
Yeah, probably.
the Gahey thing, really difficult to deal with Crystal Palace. High valuations like we've seen last year, wanting 60, 70 million, did not happen, didn't get over the line. And now they're looking abroad. One of those names that has been linked heavily in the past 24 hours, this first came out from the Daily Mail, is a £35 million swoop for Marseille's Leonardo Bellardi, the Argentinian centre-back. The 26-year-old is very high up on Eddie Howe's radar, and obviously it is a cut price cost compared to a UK centre-back. Obviously, we did want Heuston at the start of the summer. He went for 50 million to Real Madrid. We've wanted Gahey, they wanted 50, 60. So they're looking abroad now, Keg. Is it another Sven Botman name that's going to come out of nowhere? Well, Bellardi certainly did that yesterday. This article I'm reading here is saying that French outlet RMC Sport have said Marseille do not want to sell the central defender this summer. They stated that a Marseille executive has said that even an offer of 40 million would not be enough for them to cash in. Unless the league and club stance changes or Bellardi seeks to move away, it would appear that the Argentinian defender will not be the one who comes to Newcastle this summer. But they're obviously going to say they're not going to be like, oh, we're really happy for our best defender to leave and we'll definitely take 30-odd million.
Yeah,
this is just to drive up the price, man.
Is this Marseille?
Marseille, I had a great season last year, finished second.
Their owner that said that?
What, that he wasn't for sale?
Yeah.
What did I just say there? It was from RMC Sport. Just said that Marseille, a Marseille executive.
So I'm sure it's Marseille that have that history of their owner coming out and be like, he's not for sale. He's not going anywhere. We don't want to sell him. Then, 48 hours later, they're gone.
Aye, it will be. Just money.
Marseille's got a really bad habit of doing that. Their owner, that's pretty much a sign that he's gone. Their owner coming out gone. He's definitely 100 million% not going anywhere. That means he's leaving.
Aye. But if he offers another 20 million, he's gone.
Yeah, I think we are doing the right thing. Obviously, not get ourselves into another saga. Should we go back in for Gahey? Maybe test the water if Crystal Palace are going to play hardball. Be like, right,
see you later.
We only wanted to test you. You're playing funny buggers like you did last year, so we'll walk away and we'll we are paying over the odds that British tax is real, and I think Newcastle is kind of about to become victim of. I say about to be. Already are playing victim to the rich thing, the thing that the other big six teams Man United's and Chelsea's in the past have spent more money than they should do because they can. Teams will absolutely take the piss out of them. Real Madrid's probably been victim to that in the past as well. Teams know that you've got money and you're willing to spend, so they'll absolutely hold you for ransom. And I think that's what we're getting done right now, and especially from the British teams, they know that we're becoming a threat. So they don't want to sell to us, so they're absolutely holding us for ransom. And yeah, if you sign anyone from the Premier League for less than 50 million, who have we been linked with where the valuation from the Premier League has been less than 50 million? Apart from maybe it's James Trafford because he's a young goalkeeper coming from Burnley. Even then, they were trying to hike him up to about 40.
40, aye.
We are absolutely having our pants pulled down by English teams. So yeah, you can go abroad. Botman was about 35 million or something like that.
Bruno.
You can get some really good young players who can develop with us, like what Bruno did, like what Tonali did, for 35 less. If you can get someone for 20, 25, 30 mint, and we're playing the safe game and sticking with the Premier League, which I get for having those already experienced and knows the English game, they're familiar. So it takes sometimes I think the Premier League is the best league in the world for me. It's probably the most fast and most physical. So some people might be like, whoa, this isn't like what I'm used to in Italy or France or whatever. So it might take them a little bit of time to gel. So getting someone who already knows the English game makes sense. But it's not like a foolproof system. How many players in history have came from foreign leagues, came to the Premier League and just been absolutely class straight away. It happens. So it's not like, it's sign someone from the Premier League or knee one, because they might take a little while to get used to it. Nah, that's bullshit. So yeah, if we're going to save a lot of money and we're going to get some untapped potential, then yeah, all for it.
26-year-old, 6'2", Argentina international. We're an Argentinian defender, don't we? Colaccini.
Aye, Fabrizio.
Fancy a bit of Leonardo instead.
Can he shag me wife him, can he?
Oh, he might do. He can get curly hair.
Oh, he might do.
8 appearances for Argentina. Oh, why do I keep on saying like that? Argentina.
Don't cry for me.
Argentina. And then 2 goals and 106 appearances for Marseille. Has been at Dortmund and Boca Juniors before that. And I've got to admit,
Dortmund. I'll get him in. Next Isaac.
I'd never heard of him until the rumour last night.
I'm either.
Never ever heard of him. Not even going to lie. Never ever seen him, heard of him. None of it. But then last night, everyone started whacking the compilation videos on Twitter and it got us excited because he has that Fabian Shaw style of play. Everyone was comparing him already to Shaw, the diagonals, the movement with the ball.
I like that.
Scored a couple of rakers from outside the box.
Oh, I do like that.
So I was like, I've seen enough.
Say no more.
Just bring him in.
Get him in.
I'm desperate.
Stick the bid in.
I'm desperate for anybody at the minute. You know what I mean? I just want to sign him.
Pay for Shaw $3.5 million. I think we should get in with a bid like that, mate.
Aye, just with an extra
$3.5 million and work your way up.
Couple of zeros on the end of it, unfortunately. But Belletti, I don't think it'll be an easy deal to get done. Like you said, that Marseille had a good season. De Zerbi there doing well. So, yeah, it'll be a difficult one. I think this could be another smoke screen, maybe, for another name. You know, we've been crying out for like a Diamande. It was meant to be going to Palace, but I don't know what's happened with that one. That one seems to have gone quiet. Diamande at Palace.
Is he not going to PSG?
No, Diamande was going to Palace.
Was he?
Maybe they're waiting for the Gahey money to get him in, but that would be great. Obviously, over the weekend, Tapsoba was linked. Tapsoba was linked heavily from African reports. I had the screenshot here, and then it came through to the Mirror and all the rest of them. Newcastle have launched an ambitious £50 million move for Bayer Leverkusen star Edmund Tapsoba. 26-year-old is a long-term Toon target. Tapsoba does have an 80 million release clause with 3 years to run, but Newcastle are facing competition from at least one other Premier League club. The Burkina Faso international, who can also operate at right back, which is ideal if Tino gets injured or whatever. With
like a bit of versatility.
Asian and maybe even still leaving. He was a subject of an inquiry from Newcastle last August.
I thought he was. I was going to say.
Remember? We talked about him last August. After, guess what? Failed to sign Gahey. Tottenham are also interested in the Leverkusen defender. I would love him. Bring him in. Quality signing. Absolutely class. Absolutely class, Tapsoba. Done it on the biggest stages. Won some big trophies now. Won the Bundesliga the year or so ago. I'd absolutely be delighted if Tapsoba could be the answer to our centre-back problems.
Just what we were saying about the English clubs and the British tax, would you be happy to pay 50 million for him plus? Like when we're trying to save a bit of money by going after like 35 million targets?
You're right. Like, should it be around 40 maybe? 45? But then again, like I say, he is a top player, one of the best in Europe, really regarded in the best leagues, won the league, being right up there, European finals and everything else. So he would be cheap. I mean, he won't be cheap. You know, with an 80 million release clause, that's definitely not cheap.
Yeah, definitely.
And 50 million, it's like you said before, though, everybody's worth 50 million now, apparently. And this is the thing with
going rate.
This is the thing with PSR. The inflation hasn't been accounted to just modern day.
No,
it's still this 105 million over 3 years since 2012. Nearly 15 years later. Like, what was a 20 million pound player?
Prices are ridiculous for players.
Is now a 50, 60 million pound player. It's just the way it is. And probably need to get that in my head.
You're looking at people like take like Joao Pedro, for example. Like 10 years ago, he'd barely be worth 20. Maybe he's around about 20 million.
No,
if that's right. Like, it's just like inflation in football is going absolutely ridiculous. So yeah, PSR does need to like adapt like average prices, which are going up to clearly over like 50, 60 million. It's prices are ridiculous. So yeah, like, unfortunately, being the richest club in the world, we are having to try and save as much as we can, try and get as many barjons as possible.
And another name that was linked is Malik Chow. We've talked about him in the podcast before.
He was last year as well.
Apparently, he's going to Como to play for Fabregas there.
Lots of people.
They must be doing some dodgy bungs there. Like. They must be dishing out some extra ravioli and that on there. Like a few slices.
Unlimited ravioli if you come here on a 5-year deal.
Ravioli and loads of dodgy bags of cash in the corner there for you to come and sign for Como. But mad. Como are interested in him. He's definitely leaving AC Milan this summer, but other reports saying that he's snubbing it. But yeah, he's linked to a move, Malik Chow. It was meant to be done the other day, so maybe he's having second thoughts on it. Inter Milan. All sorts after Chow, so he's been one that's been linked. It's funny, like one day it's like, he's definitely going there. The next day it's like, he snubbed the move, he's not going anymore.
Yeah.
So all things can twist and turn in the transfer window. Just quickly, there's over 500 people watching live, so I hope you have subscribed and hope you've clicked the like button throughout the show. We're 50 minutes deep now. Please do that if you haven't already. Would really appreciate it. Subscribe to the channel, hit the like button. Thanks very much. Another target, which we talked about last week, so we don't need to go into too much detail, but it's still there, is Scalvini.
Yeah. So,
he's going to be pricey, though.
Going to be pricey and a hard bargain. Could be another Gahey situation on my hands. Like, they've already said that they don't want to sell, and they're going to hike the price up as well. So, yeah, I mean, stick a couple of bids in, see what happens. But, yeah, make sure that these other targets are being lined up in the background as well, and don't waste any time like we did last year on Gahey. Yeah, test the water. If he's the one, if he's like top of your list, then crack on, do your best to get him. But if we're being held to ransom and the other team are on budging, then yeah, move on. There's a few more targets there.
There is a few more. Jarrell Hatto is one of them. That is one that's going to be tough with the competition in Maine. Every other Premier League team is interested. In particular, Arsenal are really wanting to sign him. He'll be a quality move, Keg, the young lad from Ajax, showing some real leadership skills, national level and at club level, wore the armband. But I just think he's one of them ones where he seems destined for a Spurs or an Arsenal, by the looks of the reports anyways.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, he's one that's got a bit like versatility in him as well. Like he can play a left back as well, so it's like what Lloyd Kelly could do, and also what Dan Burn can do, who's pushing on it towards like the latter part of his career, Dan Burn. So getting in a replacement like that, I think that's obviously one of the attractive things that Eddie Howe's seen in Lloyd Kelly last year, but he didn't last too long. So having someone with that versatility, who was a centre back, who was more than comfortable playing as a fullback as well. They're 19 years old, already got some senior caps for the Dutch team, and highly regarded, tall kid. He's about 6'2" or something like that. So
first time,
like I say, he's got that leadership stuff as well. So yeah, he's a good option, him. But if we're going to be in competition, might be the London thing again. If it's Arsenal and Tottenham wanting him, then he might be blinded by the lights of London. So I don't know, but he's another one worth sticking a bit in, or at least having some conversations with Ajax and seeing what happens.
I think that's the best place to get bargains. You know, we've talked about Bakayoko from PSV. There's talks that Hatto could only be like 25, 30 million. That's the type of money you want to be spending if you're trying to save it. Because when we mentioned Tapsoba for 50, you're saying, oh, isn't that a bit too high still? Hatto for, say, 30. With all them years ahead of him as well, loads of potential. That's probably the best deal, but Arsenal definitely sniffing around him. On a side note of that, because it wasn't on Hatto, it was on Isak. Jermaine Jenas, obviously ex-Newcastle midfielder, was on TalkSport yesterday, and he was actually big in Newcastle up for a change. You know, he used to say back in the day, goldfish bowl and all that and slag off. But yesterday he was saying, why would Isak leave for Arsenal? And I just want to bring this up, not to mention Isak, but to mention the Hatto thing, or competing with the Gunners for signings. When players look at what team they're going to sign for, he was saying Arsenal aren't a million miles ahead of Newcastle anymore.
No, not a million miles at least. Anyway, ahead, yes, but how far ahead?
He said like the two teams on paper, the signings, you know, the starting lineups. Arsenal wanted a lot of Newcastle players. How many Arsenal players would Newcastle United want? Obviously, Newcastle beat them in the semi-final last year to go on to win the Carabao. We finished just behind them in the league. So when you think of it, he's right, you know. He was saying, like, if I had the choice, I would sign for Newcastle instead of Arsenal. If I was Isak, I would stay in Newcastle instead of going to Arsenal, which was, I just thought it was a nice little thing there.
It was refreshing from someone that
actually
usually
came out.
Off. Yeah,
and normally when you see these mainstream media platforms, they're always just slandering Newcastle. So it's nice to hear it the opposite way for a change.
Yeah.
AC Milan, got Chow, got Tomori. He's meant to be available. He's been linked to Newcastle over ages. He's an English centre-back, though, that, again, would be cheaper.
Yeah,
way cheaper than the other English centre-back, Gahey and stuff.
Yeah. I've been a fan of Tomori for a while, to be fair. Like, and I think it'd be good to bring like an English boy home. Obviously, he's going to be wanting to get a part of that the England team with the World Cup coming up. Like, I think his chances would probably be better playing in England, especially at like a Champions League club like Newcastle. Obviously, playing at AC Milan, it's great that they're a big European team. But yeah, I just think his chances of getting back in the England squad would be better at Newcastle, like being back like under the radar of the Premier League, where the majority of players are. There's not that many players playing abroad, apart from like Bellingham, Kane, and that's pretty much it.
Ivan Toney in Saudi Arabia and then gets brought on with 3 seconds.
I mean, are you really telling me that Tuchel's been watching like loads of Saudi Pro League looking for the next best England players? Is he shite? I'm not having that. So yeah, I don't know. I'd be keen on Tomori. Like, he's a big powerhouse.
All right.
Yeah, big
he's
fan.
all right. He's all right. I tell you what, from AC Milan though, did you see Tammy Abraham is going to Besiktas for 20 million? Why are we not getting him? I'd have him as backup to Isak all day long.
I'd have Tammy Abraham, like, yeah.
You know what I mean? Tammy behind Isak.
But the amount of players that go to Turkey and just flop.
I would just go there for like 2 months as well.
There's been loads of people that's done that. I can't remember who else it was. I'm sure we were linked with someone that went
John
there.
Duran's gone to Turkey as well.
John Duran's gone there. It was the other one. Zaha went there. He wasn't there too long. Obviously, Maxi's there. I don't think he's really having the best of times.
He's gone now. Like, free agent or something like that.
Loads of people got to Turkey, and there's just there's one name that's really I'm trying to think of that were meant to be like really Batshuayi. Michy Batshuayi. He was someone that we were linked with a little bit as well. He ended up going to Besiktas, didn't he? But
he was at Palace that one after Chelsea and did well for Belgium and that. On to the last centre back then, and well, actually one more, the one from Benfica. People are asking about there. Silva, obviously.
Antonio Silva, we were linked with him a couple of years ago.
He'd be class. I would love him, but again, that's going to be a pricey one, isn't it? This is what I think, though. You know what I mean? When we say like, 50 million, is it worth? Everyone's going to be pricey. Apart from maybe if you get a
testing the waters, just pick up the phone, make a phone call, what you're saying, what's the value, just then make your evaluations from there. Like, come back, like whoever it is in charge at the minute, Eddie Howe, I guess.
Eddie and Andy.
Make some phone calls, see what the evaluation would be, come back, regroup, have an assessment, evaluation, and just kind of go from there. Because like having like one key target, then like, right, we've decided we want to sign this player, and they're like 100 million. But he's like worth 30. Like, that was a waste of time, wasn't it? I think we just need to have some fingers in some pies out of the shop, really. Get them fingers in them pies, all our Europe.
And European pies.
Yeah. And see what happens, because we've got so many names. Like, how many people we've been linked with? Like, not even just this summer.
4 million.
Like, oh my God. Like, this used to date back to way back in the day. Like, I remember going to my granny's on a Sunday morning. Just have like the Sunday Sun, or like Rivaldo and things like that. It's like, what's going on here? Like, we've always been linked with like mad players, but now that we've actually got money and we're actually like looking to spend it, the links that we've had this summer is just absolutely absurd.
It is like,
like if we're genuinely serious, we need to just be like putting some feelers out there and just like, because I just can't be asked with the Gay situation. Like, we need to have backup options. Like, it's fair enough having your number one and going all out for him wholeheartedly. I'm fully behind that. But we can't just be wasting time and like going up to people's valuations, spending more money than we can actually really afford. Sometimes maybe it's better to go after maybe your third choice who's a little bit cheaper and only spending 35 million. Like that's not wrong with that. Like, we need bodies, we need depth, and it's not just signing anyone. Like, I'm not saying like bring fucking Titus Bramble back, but like, you know what I mean? Like,
what's Titus doing these days?
We're so shallow, like our squad with another Champions League campaign ahead of where we fell short a couple of years ago because we weren't deep enough. We'll kind of do that again. Like, we need bodies through the door.
Lastly, it's not going to be an abroad option. It is a Premier League option, and it is Brighton and Hove Albion's Paul van Hecker, which is, again, with Brighton, we've just seen with Pedro, the valuation, the money will probably be stupid, so we could probably scratch it off quickly. But the Athletic really mentioned him as one that Eddie Howe would love. You know, a comfortable, technical, ball-playing centre-back, tall, strong, powerful, 25-year-old Dutch professional. I mean, he's got the Premier League experience as well, which helps. He can step straight in and hit the ground running. I would like him. I think he's very good. But we've just seen how hard it is to deal with Tony Bloom's Brighton.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, like, I think we brought him up when we were linked with him a couple of weeks ago. And yeah, same situation, 25 years old, good age, bit of Premier League experience, tall lad, good on the ball, exactly what Eddie Howe wants. But yeah, it's just the British tax thing again. Like, they'll just be adding on loads of unnecessary pounds just for the sake of it.
There would be, and with Van Hecker, his valuation according to this, the transfer market is like 32, 35 million.
60.
Where you know for a fact it would be.
Easy.
You're about picking
50,
up the phone and stuff. Would be ringing Brighton, they'd be like 60 million. 60 million. You can inquire for Danny Welbeck, and Brighton would say 60 million.
Scored against you last year, didn't he? Put you to the cup, right? 90 million.
How much was the FA Cup worth to you? 60 million. Real. And we're having the same problem right now with Anthony Elanga. Talks continue with Nottingham Forest for the Swedish winger. We've seen him partying with Asula, dancing away on TikTok. Yeah. We haven't seen that video. It was out there last night. Asula.
Shirt on playing tennis a few weeks ago.
His pal did, yeah, there you go. He does love it. He was commenting on it. Anderson and Tino's posts from the Euros. So Elanga clearly wants to move up north. Newcastle clearly want him, but Forest clearly want more money. Newcastle have had bids rejected of around 45, 50 million. Talks are still ongoing over 50, 55 million with add-ons and stuff. And that 60 million figure is still in the air, as we mentioned throughout the podcast, for everybody, by the sounds of it, whether it's Pedro, Elanga, Gahey, centre-back. It's just starting talks, aye. That's it, 60 million or bust. So, Elanga, is he worth stretching that 60 million cake? Do you think Newcastle will do it? Is he the answer for the right wing?
I'm not sure. Like, I feel like this is one of them that I feel relatively confident it'll get done because he has emerged as my number one target, unless it's another Gahey situation where we're going to be chasing all summer long. Like, but Forest have put the valuation in at 60. And like Gahey, we were chasing Palace's valuation and they would just keep upping it. And we were going up and then they were like going up again. And then we were going up and then they were going up. And they was like, what's
never ending?
Accept my bid. Like, we're putting in exactly what you want. Right now, we know that they're not going to accept anything less than 60. They've already said that. So we're going in at like 50, 55. It's just not going to work. Either like try and come up with some sort of compromise, like add-ons or whatever, incentives. But yeah, I feel like this is one that we are going to chase. And I feel like we could go up to about the 60 million mark. But I think if they're wanting a lot more than 60, then that's the kind of time where we just need to walk away.
Yeah.
Like we've tried to negotiate. We've put our bids in. They're starting to take the piss. Let's have a look at some other targets. But yeah, I feel like we will continue to chase this. I feel like it has obviously been identified as our number one target and the bids are supposedly going in. So I think it'll get done.
Yeah, same.
Unless they start taking the piss like what Palace did last year.
Where you could see us maybe putting an offer around 54, 55 million and then give them 5, 7 million add-ons or whatever. And then it comes to it and then they're still just rejected. Yeah, I could see that as well. But I am still confident. I do think Elanga will be the winger that we sign. I think everything eyes up with that. It's definitely the one that Howe wants. He fits the system, style of play, counter-attack, pace, link up with Isaac, all the rest of it makes sense. Just like you say, though, Keg, as long as it's not a ridiculous fee and we keep getting messed about, really, and dragged along.
Yeah, I can see that happening, but yeah, just hopefully it doesn't. Hopefully he's one of the ones that we can get through in the next couple of weeks. I think Trafford should be the first one through the door, hopefully within the next week. Then maybe it's the week after that, you can hopefully get Elanga done and then move on to a few other targets like across the window before the season starts. So yeah, I think they're my top two targets that I think realistically we could get done very, very soon.
Agent Asula is on the case. He's going to get it signed up for it. Seal it up. Another one, though, right, okay, that we'll finish off on right winger wise. It's Harvey Elliott.
Get him in.
Player of the tournament for England at the under 21 Euros. Was it 5 goals in 6 games? Liverpool will sell him this summer. They've said that. Elliott wants first team football. He's not going to get that at Anfield. Begrudgingly, the local lad is going to leave. Liverpool are happy to sell him for around 40 million if that includes a buyback option. If there is no buyback option, they want 50 million for him, which is a lot. This lad only started 2 Premier League games last season.
Did he?
But, yeah.
What?
But he came off the bench most games and impressed most games. Still scored some goals. He scored a great goal in Paris away to PSG in the Champions League. He scored some important goals, some very good goals for the club. They rate him highly. He is class. Watch him at the Euros. I just thought he's brilliant. I know he's obviously not as fast as Elanga, but he's technically gifted. He's got a goal in him. He can really unlock defences, which Newcastle struggle with a lot at home. So, would Harvey Elliott be a good alternative to an Anthony Elanga?
Yes. Is an out-and-out right winger. Like, I feel like he's versatile. Like, I see him a bit more of like a centre mid. Maybe he's like a number 10, like pushing forward, like in the centre of the park. But he's got that versatility, which is great and something that Eddie Howe likes and like cherishes. But yeah, I am a really big fan of him. Still a really good age and very experienced because he came into the Premier League at like 16. So he's got years of experience beyond these very, very young years.
I know he's been around forever now.
He has, and he's won whatever he's won with Liverpool. Like, he's got like league titles and whatever else under his belt. Like, he's got a decent trophy cabinet for his age and 2 Euros, is it? Was he part of the
he was
World Cup a year ago? Yeah. So he's got 2 under 21s Euros titles under his belt, and he was absolutely class. Like, during the tournaments, like there's another name just popped up in the comments there, James McAtee.
Yeah.
Big fan of him. Yeah. Like, McAtee, Elliot Anderson, and Harvey Elliott were my 3 standouts during the tournament. Obviously, Tino at the back, but in the attacking half, them 3 I just thought were absolutely superb. And yeah, Harvey Elliott, wherever he plays, whether he's going to play on the right wing or have that versatility and play further into the middle as maybe like a backup centre mid option. I'm all for it. And I think 40 million, when we've just said what we've been saying about British tax and people adding on fees just for the sake of it, I think 40 million is a cracking offer.
Yeah.
Even at 50 million, if we're not going to insert a buyback clause, which I don't really see the point in doing, to be honest, like I'd be okay going up to 50. Like I've rated them that highly.
Wow.
But if we're going for 40, I'd be absolutely buzzing.
I think 40 could turn out to be an absolute steal.
Really, really could. Yeah, definitely.
He is that good, that young, with even all that experience, and he's played in big games. He's won big trophies. So I agree. I think it's one that we should be seriously considering if Forest are going to drag us along and demand silly money.
Yeah, definitely.
McAtee for 25 million available. It is a bargain.
I'll get that. Like
it is. That's a cool Palmer situation all over again.
Though, like McAtee's more of like a
left wing,
more 10. Like number 10, yeah, and we don't really play with that formation. So unless we're going to adapt him to a right winger, then maybe. But you want someone who's a bit more comfortable in that position, not having to like adapt players that's already good at something else.
I'm sick of that. That's why I do really like Ylang, I think, just because he's out and out right winger, starts, goes straight in.
Yeah, I don't know where McAtee would fit in our system as good as he is. Like, yeah,
I mean, it's coming out from Man City. You know, they love him, but again, just like Elliot, he wants first team football. In Man City, you've got 4 million players. There's like Chelsea.
Yeah,
so he can't get in.
It's like the Cole Palmer situation. Like, basically, everyone that plays for Chelsea came from Man City's academy. Like just players that couldn't make the first team, and now they've went elsewhere and then ended up at Chelsea. You know, like Tosson was one of them. Sancho.
So they're saying he's the next Phil Foden, James McAtee, and he's linked to Germany. I think that'd be a great move for him. Listen, if we don't get him, we can go to Dortmund and do what your Bellingham's and that have done there.
Even if you could go out on loan, if you got some experience, like I know Foden didn't, but Foden had like David Silva. It was like a like for like replacement. Like that was like he was like stepping into his shoes, David Silva, and what a world class player David Silva was to have that someone to like lean on that experience for Foden. McAtee, I don't really know who he's replicating. So if you could go maybe to Germany, go on loan and absolutely rip it to shreds. Reece Nelson had an unbelievable loan spell in Germany, and you thought he was going to come back and be world class for Arsenal, but still struggle to get first team football.
I think Shaw was great in Germany.
Yeah, he was. I think James Anderson could go to Germany, probably be one of the best players in the league, and come back to Man City and be first team. But if anyone else was trying to buy him for 25 million, I think it'd be a great deal.
Last topic of this show is the future of Callum Wilson and John Ruddy. Now, despite a lack of communication from the club this week, because Wilson and Ruddy, like everyone else's contracts, ran out on the 30th of June. It's now the 2nd of July, and we haven't heard either way what is going on, which in my eyes would suggest that talks are continuing, because surely, like what happened to Evan Calvert-Lewin, and the club came out and said, thanks for the memories, I'm gone. You know, time's up. I'm not signing a new deal. I'm a free agent. That hasn't happened at Newcastle. Wilson hasn't came out and said that. The club haven't came out and said that. Mark Douglas has literally in the last 2 minutes just said that Wilson is set to exit Newcastle permanently after his contract has expired, even though there's been no official confirmation of that yet. He was off the website yesterday. Newcastle took him off the website, and then he was re-added.
Back on, yeah.
So it's all up in the air. Obviously, Newcastle were trying to offer him an incentive-based kind of pay-as-you-play scenario deal. John Ruddy, God knows what's going on there. It doesn't really matter, to be fair, because it's this 12th keeper that's never going to play. But focusing on Wilson then, where do you think his future lies? Douglas, the journalist, saying that he's exiting, but no official news on it yet. Okay?
Yeah, so I thought he would re-sign. That's been my stance all summer long, Kid Rock. But I think, I was expecting an announcement on Monday. And then once there wasn't an announcement on Monday, I was like, well, wait, it's got to be tomorrow, 1st of July. Like, that contract runs out on the 30th of June. So 1st of July, yesterday, I was like, well, that's got to be an announcement today. But even now, past 7 o'clock on the 2nd of July, I'm like, surely something's got to have happened, because the contracts have expired. Like, they're 2 days out of date now. Like, they're free agents as of Monday.
Yeah.
So I've been waiting for an announcement. So it doesn't look good, and they put all the new visuals and the new kit on the website and stuff, and missed them two out. And then I think once it started doing the rounds on social media, they must have thought, oh shit, maybe we should put them back on. Maybe it's whoever had done it, maybe it's those on the website probably looked at the current squad list and they've been missed off of it and thought, oh wait, they're not here anymore, so we'll just miss them off. But then now they've probably come back and be like, yeah, we haven't made an announcement now, so we'll probably put them back on. Let's pretend they're still here until we actually make an official announcement.
Oh my God, why are we so amateurish with these sort of things? With the Adidas commercial and these things online and the leaks and everything, just tell me, sort it out. How long is it going to go on for? I was here when he was in talks with Leeds United, Callum Wilson, that he's going to go there. But at the minute, it's still up in the air whether he accepts our new contract, if he stays or not. It's a bit of a mess as per usual, to be honest.
It is. What do you expect from this club? But yeah, seems like he's probably on his way out. And look, best of luck to him. He's been a great servant for the club. And if that is his goodbye, then yeah, hopefully he gets a shot at Leeds or another Premier League club, and hopefully he can stay fit and score some goals in the Premier League. He's not too far off joining the 100 club, so it'd be nice to see him get there. Like I say, he's been a great servant for us, and he's a bright spark in a dark era of the club. He scored goals for Brucey. And obviously pre-takeover, and even scored 18 goals post-takeover in a season where we had Isak in there as well. So yeah, he's been a phenomenal servant, and I think it's quite sad to see him go. I'm a big fan of Callum Wilson. He's a great guy, good player, good scorer, but yeah, injuries and stuff's just really ruined his last couple of years, and pushed 33 years old now. It's time to move on, but we need to make sure that we're gonna move on and actually get some replacements, which is something that I hadn't actually mentioned. Someone that we've been talking about for a long time as a potential replacement, Jonathan David, is signing for Juventus today.
Is that done now, is it?
Supposedly. Yeah, here we go, Fabrizio Romano.
Oh, is it here we go?
So he'll probably sign for Brighton.
Oh, he signs for us. We've been great for us. It'd be interesting to see what Juventus are offering him per week, because he would have fit the bill perfectly. Yeah, tick loads of boxes for us, and a free as well
for us. Yeah.
But these are the type of deals we need to be lining up. The PSR and FFP is going to be so much of an issue for us.
Freebies.
Real Madrid, do you? You know what I mean? Getting Batley and Trent on a free. Now they're trying to get Rhea on a free, and next year they want Canati on a free. So
they're just looking at everyone's contracts 3 years ahead. He's going to be out of contract in 3 years when we can't get a bit of him.
It's actually genius, to be fair. Tap them up early, get them in, sell them a dream, offer them loads of money per week because they're not paying a fee. Hey, great business. Calvert-Lewin, Wilson's replacement, apparently.
Can't wait to get Calvert-Lewin in.
Can't wait.
He'll be done on Friday.
Yeah, swapsies. It's like, swapping cards back in the day on the training ground. Just a straight swap, the exact same thing.
Wilson went Everton now.
You could see that.
You really could.
Made it happen. The worst FIFA swap in history, that one. Right then, that'll do for this week's show. Thanks, everyone, for watching. Thanks for Anarchy Brewery to hosting us this evening. You can check out the link in the description to get yourself more beer and all the other tasty beverages that they have on offer. Loads of great pale ales and all the rest of it. Nice one. Thanks, everyone. See you on the next one. Enjoy yourself. I haven't clicked on this yet, so take a while to end it.
Yeah, okay.
So,
well,
I'm going to say
make sure you enjoy yourself.
Just keep on enjoying yourself. Keep on subscribing. There we go.